Hi, second graders. Today we are going to be doing topic 8, lesson 8.6, to tell and write time to 5 minutes. So first, what is something you do that takes about 15 minutes? What is something you can do in less than 15 minutes? Pause this video and take a second to write down one thing that takes about 15 minutes and one thing that you can do in less than 15 minutes. All right, something you can do in 15 minutes. Let's see what we can come up with. It can take about 15 minutes to ride the bus to school. It can take less than 15 minutes to eat a snack. What else? It takes about 15 minutes to eat my breakfast, and I brush my teeth in less than 15 minutes. All right, so think about those things when we talk about time today. So, how can you use clocks to tell time? All right, well, first off, let's look at two different kinds of clocks. So we have an analog clock right here, and then we have a digital clock, and they're constantly moving. So just so you know, both clocks here show 8:05. The minute hand moves from number to number in 5 minutes, just like skip counting by fives, okay? To tell time to 5 minutes, start at 8 o'clock. Let's start at 8 o'clock. Okay. Now, to tell time 5 minutes, start at 8 o'clock and count by fives, okay? So pretend the 12 is 0, that's your o'clock, and the 1 starts your 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and then this starts back at your double zeros, your o'clocks, okay? So I can start at 8 o'clock and count by fives to tell time. So this is 8:35 and this is 8:35. Now, there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So the hour hand is the shorter hand, okay? And the minute hand is the longer hand. It's longer because it needs to be stronger because it works so much more than the hour hand, okay? So the minutes start over again each hour. When the minute hand comes up to the 12, it starts over. So just like we did again. So if it goes to here, it's 5. This is 9 o'clock. So this is 9:05, 9:10, 9:15, 9:20, 9:25, 9:30, 9:35, 9:40, 9:45, 9:50, 9:55, and then the hour hand would move up to the 10, and you would have 10 o'clock, okay? So let's look at our guided practice, and let's do that together. So complete the clocks so both clocks show the same time, all right? So remember, this is your 0, and this would be your 5, skip counting by fives, okay? So if you notice, this hour hand isn't quite to 7 yet. So if it's in between here and here, it's working towards the next hour. So this shows 6:45, okay? So if you look, let's fill this in, 6:45, okay? All right, so that is 6:45, okay? Now, let's look at the second clock. It's showing that it's 3:25. So we take that hour hand and we draw it to the 3. Remember, it's not quite as long, so it doesn't go all the way to the number. And then here is our minute hand. So remember, 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, okay? So that is showing 3 o'clock. So now we have to take the minute hand, come all the way touching the 5. So that is 3:25. Now let's try this one. We already showed you this clock a little bit ago. So this is 8 o'clock. So the hour is 8. Is the minute hand still on the 12? Yes, it is. So therefore, if it's on the 12, it is zeros. So this clock shows 8 o'clock, and this is an analog clock, and this is a digital clock, and it shows 8 o'clock as well. So number 4, we have 5:40, okay? So we want to take that if you want to, you can take and start with the hour hand. So where it's closer past the, here's the 30. Let's skip count again. Okay, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Let's just finish it. 45, 50, 55, and we're back to the zeros, okay? So where it's almost, where it's past the 30, you always want to try to get it in between there because that's just kind of how a clock works. So now we've got 5, and then we've got to draw the minute hand to the 8, which means 40. So this is 5:40, okay? Let's look at the independent practice, which I'm sure your teacher's probably going to have you do this all by yourself. So complete the clock so that both clocks show the same time, okay? So just like we did earlier, I'll leave this here so you can see it. Okay, all right, so the hour hand is on the 9 and the minute hand is on the 12. And what did we say the 12 means? Those are your zeros where they start all over. And let's do again. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and then you'll be back to that. So this is 9, and what's that say? 9 o'clock. Awesome. All right, so let's look at this one. The digital clock says 2:25. And let's just write that above there just to review. Digital. And this is an analog. Okay, so this says 2:25. So let's count by 5s again. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. You back to the zeros. All right, so here is your 2. Let's do our hour hand first. All right, so our hour hand is going to come not quite touching it. And then let's count by 5s. 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So that minute hand is going to almost touch the number. So that is 2:25. Okay, so notice the hour hand isn't touching the number. It's a little bit farther away. So let's look at this clock right here. All right, so we have 2 o'clock, okay? So now watch as it moves so you can see how the hour hand is going to move with it. So we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Notice how that hour hand started at the 2. Now it's starting to move to the next hour. So let's just see what happens. This is the time we have is 2:25 on our problem. So now it's 2:30. Notice that hour hand is moving. 2:30, 2:35, 2:40, 2:45, 2:50, 2:55, and now we are at 3 o'clock. All right, so try the next one by yourself. All right, so this, it's past the 12, but it's not quite to the 1 yet. So if it's not to the 1 yet, you need to know that it's the hour before that. So this is 12. And let's count. 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. And what does that 8 mean? It's 12:40. Okay, one more. All right, so we have 4:40. Remember how when we had it on that big clock like this, so remember, if it's past that, it's going to be a little past the hour. So here we go. So this right here is 4:40. So we know that if we count by fives, 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So we're going to take that minute hand and we are going to extend it all the way to the 8, but not over top of it. So now we need to do the hour. So it's 4:40. So here's our 4 for our hours. So this is hours. And these are minutes. Okay? So remember, it's a little past that because it's not in this side of the clock. So now it's 4. 4:40. That looks like this. So here is 4:35 and here is 4:40. So notice as it gets past the 30-minute mark, which is the halfway mark, that hour hand gets closer and closer to the next hour. So if this was 4 o'clock. Try it one more time. Here's 4 o'clock. Now let's do 4:05, 4:10, 4:15, 4:20, 4:25, 4:30. Notice it's moving. 4:35, 4:40. So now, if you notice, I'm just going to finish it out. So here's 4:40, the time that was on our problem. Here is 4:45. Notice it's almost to the next hour, 5 o'clock. Here is 4:50, 4:55, and 5 o'clock. So there you go. So remember, the hour hand is always shorter than the minute hand. The minute hand has way more sweeping to do to cover the entire clock than the hour hand does. So it has to be stronger and longer to make that big, giant clockwise direction. Okay? So you try the next one. So number 9. Is it on the 12? Nope. It is on the 1. So both hands are on the 1. So let's do this one more time. 0, 0. And then we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So there's 60 minutes in an hour, and this is your halfway mark. So half an hour is 30 minutes. 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. And in another minute, in another 5 minutes, it'll be the next one. All right, so both hands are on the 1. So that would be, what would the hour be? Okay, the hour would be 1. And the minutes would be, well, what would you have in front of this? You would have a 0, so it would be 1:05. All right, number 10, okay? So number 10, we have the hour hand is on a little past the 11 because it's past 11 o'clock. So let's do our minutes again. We have 0, 0. We have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, which is a half of an hour, 35, 40, 45, 50, and 55. All right? So our hour hand is a little past 11, so it's 11. And where are the minutes? 0, 5, 10. So it is 11:10. All right. So now you try to do this one on your own, okay? So we have 7. Just think about how we were counting on clocks. We skip count in 5s, all right? So we have 7 o'clock, 7:05, 7:10. And what would be 5 minutes more than 7:10? You can count by fives. It would be 7:15. All right. Now, you try to do these problems by yourself, and don't forget to do the quick check. And always remember, you can use clocks to tell time, whether they be an analog clock that's constantly moving. It's almost like a manual clock, like a watch, or it's digital, like this. And many of your cell phones have this type of clock, which is called a digital clock. And remember, the clock goes in, there's hours, there's 60 minutes in an hour, and that's what those little bitty dots are for. There, so you can count again. So here's 0. Let's count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and then the next hour starts. All right, don't forget to do your quick check and have a great day.